We've got some significant action on BTC and approaching a major decision point. Let's break this down quick. What's up, guys? Carlton Flowers, your crypto pro, back again with a critical analysis on Bitcoin because something is happening on this chart that says we are on the cusp of a significant movement, and we need to break this down and break it down quick because it's going to affect everything across the board. All right, let's get rid of that and jump in here to the 4-hour chart and just see what we can see. We just developed this great big red candle right here in the middle of this triangle, and I meant to get a video up yesterday, but I'm glad I waited until today because now it's a little bit more clear as to what might happen. So I want to zoom out and show you this triangle formation. Please forgive all of the messy fib circles here, but these are the indicators that tell us when we are about to hit a critical crossing point of where the price line could pivot or the price could draw or crawl up or down a line. So as you can see, I've got this triangle, and it is a symmetrical triangle that has been forming ever since about the 1st of September. And we have done nothing but bounce around within this triangle. We could actually extend this line. In fact, let me just do this right now. We could extend this way, way, way back and somewhat fit this whole action way back into, say, July. But at least since the 1st of September, this has been a very, very significant formation. All right, so zooming in to the chart here, we see that we were bouncing up on this top part of the triangle, the upper trend line. And then I thought we had a little breakout here, and I was going to shoot this video before. Let me just zoom in here and show you what I saw before now. We were right about at this point when I was going to shoot the video and tell you that something big is about to happen. And that big thing was the fact that we were approaching the end of this triangle formation. Here's the apex right here. And what usually happens before you get to the end of the apex of these triangle formations, they either break up or they break down, like in a big way. So let's erase that. At the time, I did not know that we were going to fight back up to the top of this line. And then after we did, we broke free up here in the top, which almost made me think that the decision for Bitcoin was going to be major breakout to the upside. Well, I'm glad I didn't report that video at the time because now we're back in the foggy area where it's kind of, say, 50-50. But the chances are looking like it might break to the downside. I'd give it a 60% chance down and a 40% chance up. Now, I had just constructed this magical Fib Circle set the other day that is based on a time frame from September the 23rd up until September the 28th. This was the upswing channel, and then we pivoted and started to propagate back down. So with this Fib Circle set, I noticed that we had a pivot right here on the, I think this is the 3.618 line, or is that the 4.216? I think it's 4.216. And the last one is the 4.618. Let's zoom in and show you what happened right on those Fib Circle rings. These things are magical. It's not really magical. What a Fib Circle is, what they do, it's just a reflection of human behavior because we have waves of action on buying. Like when the price starts to tick up and then we approach a Fib Circle ring, you get a wave of people that will amplify that movement. When you hit a ring and you have like a bounce down off of the top here, you have a wave of people that panic sell, and it just increases that movement. Okay, so the Fib Circles, I call them magical and mysterious, and I'm just kidding when I say that, even though they are, but they are based on real human behavior. All right, get rid of that. Whoops, let me try that again. I think I need to swat it a little harder. Here we go. Ah, man. Okay. Whoa, it just disappeared. I need to practice on my swiping. Let's try that for the third time. Here we go. Yeah. Okay, I got it that time. All right, so back to the chart. Oh boy, me and my special effects. Okay, let's just focus here on some of the other indications that might let us know what's about to happen. First of all, looking at the stochastic, it's looking slightly bearish, maybe not slightly, it's looking bearish, period, just on the 4 hour, where our momentum is heading down, and we see that the fast line and the slow line don't look like they're wanting to come back together. They are wide. And usually when they start to approach each other, like say from this point here, where one reverses direction, then they cross over. And after that crossover point, you get a change in stochastic, like right here. And then when it crosses over here, you get a change in the momentum in the other direction. So that's our first little bit of evidence. We have a strong downward stochastic cycle change, and this is just an oscillating indicator. It goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and it just changes with the momentum of the price line movement. So with this change in direction, getting a big candle like this, that's kind of, oh boy, it's somewhat indicative of a possible further downward movement, but that does not mean absolutely that this thing is just going to break to the downside. It's still 40-60, because as you can see, we've got a wick bleeding down here, but then it's crawled back up. And so if we jump to the, let's just look in here so I can show you this. When we jump to the 1 hour, you can get an idea of what is happening with this wick, because there's some upward movement hiding within that wick. Oh, okay, so it doesn't look too much better on the 1 hour, but at any rate, there's another wick right here, and it's forming somewhat of a doji or a hammer, and that's also not a good indication, because even on the 1 hour, we see that the stochastic is still headed downward. This is a negative momentum, and the OBV indicates some selling going on, okay? The OBV is not as good of an indicator on the 1 hour, other than the fact that it will confirm a movement. So that OBV is reflecting all of these great big fat red volume bars from the selling going on right here. So this tells me that within the hour, we're probably going to continue this downward movement, okay? Because the stochastic is still pointing straight downward, and we have this dive on the OBV. All right, so that's enough of the 1 hour. Let's zoom back out to the 4 hour. Here's our triangle, and look at the volume profile. The volume profile can tell us possibly where the next sticking point could be, and we see that there is a pretty popular price level right here at around 10,500, okay? And so we could gravitate towards that point. And notice that if we go to 10,400, 500, we'll break the bottom part of this triangle. If we break the bottom part of that triangle, I'm thinking the next move is going to be like that, okay? And so we broke the top part of it, and it wasn't an absolute confirmation, but the momentum is going down. That's why I'm concerned that if we break the bottom part of this, we might finally go after that CME gap. Okay, so let's look at the 1 day. There we go. I've got my magical swiping hand working again. Let's clear this out, and let's look at the 1 day chart. Zooming out, let's adjust this a little bit. This does not look quite as good with this great big fat bar, fat candle on the 1 day. However, the stochastic does not look nearly as bad, but we have a divergence between the stochastic, which is slightly pointing upward here. It's kind of moving up a little bit, but our on balance volume is showing a little bit of distribution going on right here. So what does that mean? Well, we're going to have to look at the fact that this fast line right here is taking a slight tick back towards the slow line right here. They're looking like they want to come back together. So if they have a meeting of the minds and they do something like this, then this is going to mean that the stochastic, will start to head downward like this again. That could support the possibility of tanking out of this triangle. So I'm really too afraid to call this yet, and I do think that it's still possible that we could go either way. It's just not a guarantee. All right, so I do like the fact that the stochastic is bouncing around. It has not hit overbought and oversold except for right up here. It did go into the overbought section above the 80% line briefly, but now we're back down here trading in the neutral zone right here. All of this action is here in the neutral zone, which tells me that we could go either way. We could pop out of this neutral zone and go upward. Let's get an arrow there. We could go up, or we could pop out of this neutral zone and go down. And like I said, the only other bit of evidence that might tell us which way that's going to happen is this on balance volume that is headed in a downward direction that says there's some distribution that's going on. Now, let's zoom back out one more time, or go back to the 4 hour rather, and just kind of take a look at our triangle. Oh, and just since then, price has come down just a little bit since we started the video. So on the 4 hour, it still looks like momentum is solidly headed downward. Okay, so sometime between now at the time of shooting this video at 2:41 p.m. Central Time, by 6 o'clock tonight, maybe we hit down here in the oversold zone. And what we're going to have to do is check out two things. Thing number one is, what is the corresponding price? How far will a bottom of a stochastic cycle bring the price down? And thing number two, are we going to bounce off of this triangle and then move up, or are we going to violate the bottom of the triangle? And if we do, hey, guess what this is right here? This is about the 10,000 point. Let's turn drawing mode off so we can get the price of this candle. It's right there, 103,000, or I'm sorry, 10,328 could be a stopping point. Now, what could happen after that? Well, let's just scrunch it in and look at what the volume profile is telling us as other possible stopping points. Now, this is a positive here because it looks like the volume tapers off after this point of the 10,300 and it goes way down. So if we hold within this zone here, we could be okay. And that could mean a jump back up to the point of control. We see all this volume up here. So if we're able to hold, and then we get into this slip zone here. I've talked about slip zones in the past, and that's where you have very unpopular price points where the institutional buyers are not much interested in buying right here. And what happens is, when you have a momentum going up or a momentum going down, when we hit these little slip zones, the price tends to shoot up. So this could be a target. 11,741 would be the immediate target if we break to the upside. If we don't make it to that point, we need to zoom out a little bit more. And then here's the volume down here that is below that CME gap. So if we don't hold right here at about 10,100, here's another area that's not as popular that's lurking below. See this little area here? There's not as much buying volume at that point as we have with these little peaks that happen. Here's a peak, here's a peak, here's a peak. So this is just the area where there's heavy trading volume that is going on. So I'm gonna say that the line of demarcation is right about here, above 10,000. So if we stay above that, maybe we're okay. All right, so that's about all I've got to say, and sorry I can't tell you my opinion of if this goes up or down. All I can say is something big's about to happen, because this formation is just about done, and we're gonna look for that break. So we'll just have to cross our fingers and see which way it'll go. Now, I personally would love to see it break to the downside and fill that CME gap to get it over with. The other kind of clue that might have me leaning bearish is the altcoins. The altcoins are looking pretty nasty right now. We have a lot of red going on, and as I'm looking at Ethereum, it's at 341. It's down 12.5%. Wow, that's not too good. So if everything else is sinking, confidence is low, and there's a lot of selling that's happening, maybe that 60% of a chance of this going down is more likely. But don't listen to me. I am not a financial advisor. I'm just calling it like I see it, like John Madden calling a football game. And so as the action happens, I'm going to bring it to you and bring your attention to these clues that give us the ability to see through the forest as we're hiking on along. So, shout out to my new subscribers. Glad to see all of the new folks here, and thanks for all the positive comments. I really appreciate it, and it gives me the encouragement to keep on building and providing this information. I enjoy doing this, and again, we are setting a goal of 1,000 followers so I can start to provide daily updates on the YouTube story. Okay, what I'm going to do also, sneak preview, I'm going to start doing short videos. And they're going to be the tall aspect ratio, like optimized for smartphone viewing. They're going to be short little updates that will give you an idea of what I'll be doing when I hit the YouTube stories. So that's about all I have for now. Like and subscribe. And for the first time ever, I'm going to tell you, you might want to tick the bell and get updates, because as I shoot these videos, if I see something that is significant that is about to happen and I need to alert you that we're about to blow up or we're about to hit a big red candle, then you can see that action right as soon as I upload that video. So tick the bell, hit subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends, tell your family. Let's grow the community and have some fun. And the next video that I'll be shooting is that early Christmas present, where I'm going to clue you into an airdrop that is free that will help you be on the front end of what could be the next significant cryptocurrency that is going to be coming to the market. That's about all I got. This is Carlton Flowers, your crypto pro. We out.